Yeah.
Did that? We done?
Yeah, like I said, didn't make it off the cutting room floor. It was in one of the old shit ones that Meg just fucking put a bullet in. She took it out the back, Lenny style of Mice and Men.
Yeah. And Tony's still there. Taxi rank Tony's just absolutely obliterating every piece of device he can get his hands on.
Meg called him in.
Meg's out there, got like a 44 bang through the idea.
Meg calls Tony in when the ideas are shit, and he just fucking.
It's in the cloud, Tony. Tony's in the cloud. Not my iPad, Tony.
He's just fucking sledgehammering you in Tyler. All right, okay, you juiced?
Tony doesn't get it.
Today, Rich, we are going to look at the golf industry in Scotland, and we're going to look at a £300 million industry with huge opportunity to come in and build £1 million business. You ready to go?
Let's grip it and rip it.
Now, we're going to start. You enjoyed that. We're going to start, and I am
too much.
Holding back every fibre of my being to not rinse your shirt. Now, I acknowledge that you're more fashionable than me by orders of magnitude, so I accept that.
And I'm not even on any scale. If there's a Richter scale of my fashion sense, people aren't even feeling it if they were next to it. As an earthquake.
I feel like there's an attempt from you to look good, whereas I essentially wear golf.
What are you wearing?
I've got an Under Armour polo shirt that I bought from Sports Direct.
Excellent. At least I normally buy their Slazenger stuff, so you're going to step up from me.
I've got a few mates from school, and for everyone's 40th birthday, we all just kind of clubbed in and got a present, and we generally get vouchers for people. For me, one of my mates got me on the side and said, we're thinking about your vouchers. We don't know what to get you. What do you want? And I thought about it. I was like, I just don't really buy any stuff. And do you know what I landed on?
I've no idea.
Sports Direct vouchers. So
that's where you went.
I got £300 now, Sports Direct vouchers sitting there ready to go.
Oh my God. So, all right, so it's half the shop then.
Yeah, you could probably buy the Southend Airport store of Sports Direct. Could buy
Longsdale bags, like all sorts of boxing shoes, maybe an umbrella, football.
So your Slazenger t-shirts are £5, so I could buy 60 of those. I would never need to buy another t-shirt again.
I mean, bearing in mind they probably last. They're probably going to last 25 washes before they're going to start to lose shape. You could see how long you could genuinely last on that.
Yeah. So if I wore one a day,
I'd love to see it.
6 a year.
Same colour though, Doug. So everyone thinks that you don't change your t-shirt because people won't think that you've bought 60.
Yeah.
Great.
Golf.
£300 of vouchers. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm going to buy.
It's a good start to the pod.
Yeah. I'm actually going to end it there, and I'm going to get straight into the content, which is how much do you think the Scotland Golf Tour market is worth annually? How much do people spend on tours of golf in Scotland?
I mean, you just said 300 million at the beginning of the pod, so I'm going to say 300 million.
Did I give it away? I've absolutely killed myself.
Yeah,
all right. Right, hang on. I had a second question.
Come on, wake up, England.
Right, question 2. Not happy with that, actually. All right, I've got a few more. So, question 2. What percentage of those visitors are from the US?
Ooh, to Scotland, the home of golf.
Mm-hmm.
I would say pretty high. I would say 25%.
Really solid. 17%, which is pretty big given that it's a long way away. Demographics they're just pumping cash. They spend 338 a day, average age 44 plus, socioeconomic groups A and B. They plan these trips in advance. 40% do it through a tour operator. 40% are doing that on Google. If you can be on those search engines as a tour company, you are absolutely buzzing in terms of selling tours. So, what you're going to do, you are going to set up a tour business. You're going to do agreements with all of the golf courses and hotels, put tours together, probably charge a very heavy markup to organise everything for rich tourists. And you're going to drive all your traffic through search engines where there is a lot of traffic, direct for Scotland golf tours and slightly more indirect for things like, St Andrews, restaurants near St Andrews, or, golf at Turnberry, that kind of thing.
So you're talking about, because I go on golf tours, right? I go on one every single year, and I know they're booked through, I think it's My Golf Travel or Golf Travel or whatever it is, but it's through a tour operator. That's pretty saturated, right? As a standard search term, golf tours. Are you saying that you want to own the Scotland side?
Yeah, you're going to own Scotland. You're going to own. It's not even high competition in the search engines for like Scotland golf breaks, Scotland golf tours. You can.
Have you checked this out?
Yeah, I've got all the data. So let me give you an example. So for the term Scotland golf trips, US search traffic monthly, according to Ahrefs, is 400. Keyword difficulty is 22 out of 100, which is pretty low. But what we always do is always look at the search engine and we look at what's ranking and are the good sites ranking. And there's loads of space on that first page for a pretty new site. So within 6 to 12 months, you could be ranking for all of these high user intent terms. I won't get into too much detail about SEO on this pod, but that's a great term. Like you can tell from this metric called CPS, clicks per search, that people are not only finding that, going to that search page, but they're clicking on those pages as well. So you're gonna get traffic through those direct terms, but also through like more indirect ones as well.
Just on this, right? Just for listeners and people who are interested in this. So I am going to challenge a bit. So I've just typed Scotland golf tours, and I'm like seeing pages of golf in Scotland, scotlandgolftours.com, golfvacationscotland.com. There seems to be a bunch of stuff going on. So how does that correlate to what we're talking about, to what people could see? How can we? It just doesn't. Those two things don't seem to link up.
So it's the quality of those sites from a kind of search perspective. So if you're using something like Ahrefs, those sites will have like a domain rating, which is just a proxy for how likely the site is to rank. And so we'll always look at page one and we'll look at the DR of all the sites on page one and all those pages and say, if those DRs for some of those pages are low, if the content quality is not great, then that means there's an opportunity. So while there might be a high volume of sites going for those terms, the quality is low. And I'd be pretty sure if you start clicking on those, that the quality is going to be not great. They probably don't have a lot of links coming in, which means that there's an opportunity. Okay. If you and I built a golf site tomorrow, within 6 to 12 months, with some good work on links and with some good content, we could be almost certainly on page one.
Yeah. All right. So just to go a little bit deeper into this. So looking at all of these sites, I've just clicked on 4 or 5. It is standard. It's like a brochure site. It's like golf packages, build your own reviews about us. There's very little original content on any of them. So I would assume that you'd want to push this down as a content play where you are writing about the experiences. You may go and review what it could be like to go and have X tour day, like the padded seat does at St Andrews, or what the hotel's like. So you're doing that deeper content, and then from that being able to spin off the back. So you become not the oracle as such, but you become the primary source of understanding whether they're good or not and what those experiences are like. Yeah,
you're creating content that is going to be highly engaging. So some of it might be like all of those pages are commercials. So people are landing, they want a tour, and it's helping you find a tour. You would create that type of page because that's what the search engines want for those terms. But what you're going to wrap around all of that, you're going to wrap around much richer content about Scotland as a golf destination, which is going to get you other search traffic. Like, if you've got a review of St Andrews, a 3-day itinerary for visiting St Andrews, that's going to get you, you're going to optimize that for certain terms, but it's also going to help you rank for those, what we would call like a money page. So if you're, the Golf Tour Scotland term is going to help you rank for that as well.
Okay. Interesting. So golfbreaks.com seems to do kind of like a halfway attempt at what you're talking about. They have a tips and trends area where they talk about best resorts, best courses, travel guides, reviews, but it is global. That's completely global. So they cover everything around the world. I don't know how deep they go into Scotland, but I think if you're looking at that Scotland key term and you want to go to the home of golf and that, I think it's interesting. I just challenged originally whether it all linked up. Okay, cool.
And the last thing let's do on this is we'll just let people know, if you want to do this, this is how. There's just a couple of steps on how you get started to do this. So you've got to be, if you want to win here over the next 5 years, I want you in Scotland with a video camera and a camera, and you are visiting these places. You are getting first-hand high-quality information. You can't avoid that if you want to win over the long term, because that's what the search engines want. So that's the first thing. The second thing,
I was going to say that, sorry, just before you get into number two, like that Padded Sea Instagram, I mean, I'd love to get that guy on the pod, but what he does in those shorts of how his experience was, having that around the courses of different courses, the clubhouse, the environment, the driving range, all of that kind of things that are important to a golfer, the hotel, I think focused on just that would be super interesting. I'd watch that. Yeah,
and you can have great pubs around St Andrews.
Yeah, loads of stuff for the experiential, 4-day trip. You're coming over from Atlanta, you want to know that stuff. Yeah. Okay.
You want the real experience. The second thing, just in terms of the business model, so I was speaking to someone that puts together like educational trips, and my question to him was, how hard would it be to put these tours together? And his answer was the easiest thing in the world. And you go to the court, you literally just book things for people, book hotels, book courses, and then they just pay you to just do all the organization. You can wrap other things around, maybe restaurants, maybe transport, but essentially you're just going in and just doing the legwork of booking everything. I think you could almost certainly do it online. This is where you guys would come in and build a booking engine, so that could all be done automatically. You wouldn't need to build that. That's a website and some form of plugin or additional software as a service tool. You get that up in a day. Yeah, you pull that in. And then the final thing to say, so that's it really. You need your website, you need an SEO plan, you need to book, you need to create the infrastructure and the product for people to book. The hardest bit is you got to get in your Nissan Pulsar and you got to drive around some golf courses. Like, it's a content business, and you got to create good content.
Yeah. So
but I know this works.
That's where the cost and times comes.
Sorry.
That's where the cost and time comes, isn't it? Is to actually get this thing spun up. It's not the technology. It's the quality of the content is going to be the hook, isn't it? And thinking and trying to get into the mindset of what, let's say, an American golfer, but any international golfer that's coming over to Scotland, what are they going to be caring about? Do they want to go for a whiskey tour while they're here? Do they want to go and see these local pubs that are like that? What kind of things can you wrap in to really give that kind of cultural experience within golf, but also outside of it?
Yeah, and then the other bit that's solvable, but you'd have to think about, is just the sales side. I think people would do some bookings online, but I think people would want to speak to an agent as well, particularly if they're spending $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for a group of friends to come over. They're going to want somebody to speak to, and I think that's fine. It's just like wrap that human layer around it. And I know, final thing to say is that I know somebody in this space booking tours. So there's the guy that does the educational tours, that's super successful, and there's somebody else that does it for like hen weekends. I won't talk about the region, but they do that, and we help them with their SEO, and they generate so many leads. We are talking dozens and dozens of leads a week for people that just want to book a hen weekend in this region, and that is literally just an SEO play, creating content about the area. So I love it for golf tours. If I was in Scotland and I liked golf and I wanted a side business, or not even a business that could make $500,000, $1 million a year, I'd be there. I'd have my camera, I'd be in my Pulsar.
And the thing is about it, right, is if you are into golf, the opportunity to go and play these courses, record this information, go and immerse yourself in that's just it's a lot of fun. You know, it's not like, that if you like golf, I mean, you have to like golf, you have to be passionate, you have to be knowledgeable, you've got to become authentic to these people. You want to be buying a Doug tour because Doug knows his shit. You want to be able to go and do that, and you want the personality. You could put it up on YouTube, you could do your socials, could be fantastic. Outside of Google, social content and that strategy around that could be amazing. And you would be followed, and you'd be like, I'm going to go there because Doug goes there. If you were good, and you were able to deliver it well. Why not? I mean, it's up for disruption by the looks of things. I mean, I don't know anybody that does that, and I live on YouTube, and I haven't seen anybody covering golf experiences like that.
A phenomenal idea for somebody that wants to create content, that wants to run a business, and you sell tours. Like what most people do is they try to sell affiliates off the back. They make $30, $50 for a trip, own the whole supply chain, and make $3,000 when someone books a trip.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, any budding golfers out there in Scotland, you could do it in Ireland as well. Ireland's got some great tracks. But yeah, if you like, subscribe, comment down below, get in contact with Doug. Maybe Doug can help you get this spun up. I can help you with your golf swing. Don't let Doug anywhere near your golf swing. And I think we'll tie it off there. So thanks, Doug. Thanks for bringing that. See you soon.